So hello and welcome back yet again to another episode of Exploring Azeroth with Onyx and Beryl. But this week it's just going to be Beryl who will be exploring Sholazar Basin. Sholazar Basin is probably my second favorite Wrath of the Lich King area. I was going to say favorite, but honestly, for music and just the general vibe, Grizzly Hills always wins, but Sholazar Basin is a beautiful, lush tropical forest that was cultivated by the Titans. So, despite what we're learning in Dragonflight, the Titans were actually the good guys for a very long time. And I suppose if you're looking at it from the Titans' point of view, they're probably still the good guys. So, Sholazar Basin doesn't have too many hidden secrets, but there is one that I feel like a lot of people don't know that we will get to at the very end of this. Now, we're going to run along the path of the Life Warden here, which is one of 3 areas that I have ever found Loke, who is the spirit beast that is a tameable hunter pet and also required if you want to do the achievement for hunting all the rares in Northrend. That's the one that I always feel the most guilty about killing for that achievement is Loke. I mean, he's probably my favorite spirit beast. Sholazar Basin is home to the Frenzy Heart tribe and the Oracles. You can choose to befriend one, but when you do, the other side becomes your enemy. Unlike in Outland, though, it's really easy to switch sides. And you kind of want to because there are a couple of transmogs that are exclusive to each of them. And there's an exclusive pet for each of them. So that's, you kind of want to play both sides. Now, they will send you on various quests as you are aligned with them. And, it's actually a lot of fun. They're a little bit frustrating, their little quests, mostly because like a lot of older WoW stuff, they tend to be really, really glitchy. Now, the Sholazar Basin has 5 pillars that are strewn throughout it, and that's what keeps it tropical and lush and beautiful and sort of the perfect science experiment place for the Titans. There's also this really cool shipwreck, I'm not exactly sure what ship it is, so if you know if it was just one that crashed there recently, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm actually kind of curious about that. But it's the easiest way to find the fabled Hemet Nessingwary, who is hanging out in Sholazar Basin, because of course he is. That's where all the big game animals are. Now, he's got a little flight point, but it's kind of unique in WoW in that you actually have to do a couple of quests to fix the pilot's plane before he will become a flight point for you. So I thought that was always interesting. And it's always good to see Hammett out there destroying the wildlife. No wonder Dita is always after him. There's also a couple really fun little quests that you can do here, like build your own brew. You get to make your own brew. You have to go harvest the fruit for it. It's a lot of fun. And this guy over here, if you are a hunter, he sells a couple of very useful items. Now, he doesn't sell it to Beryl because Beryl is a rogue. But if you have a hunter, this is where you can get Play Dead and Fetch for your pet. And Play Dead and Fetch are very useful. It's kind of like Play Dead, feign death for a hunter, except for your pet. And Fetch just means it's kind of like having your own little looterang, just in pet form. Now, one of the quests that you do for Hemet is to go over here to Swindlegrin's Dig. And you end up killing Meat Pie and Swindlegrin himself. And there's an escort quest here that I almost never do because escort quests back in the day were terrible, and they're still pretty bad. So, but if you are ever looking for an interesting little escort quest to do, well, there you go. An escort quest just for you. Now we're going to go up to the top of one of the pillars because they're kind of cool. I mean, I love the swirly little stuff, and this is the Sun-Touched pillar. I'm pretty sure that one of the Frenzy Heart quests sends you up, I think it's to the Sun-Touched pillar, to get a little bit of water from up there to help out your Frenzy Heart tribe members. Right here is where you will pick up the engine if you are going to be doing the quest to open up that flight point back at Nessingwary's place, just in case you were curious about it. There are also a couple of Titan facilities in Sholazar Basin. We'll go through one of them. They're kind of neat aesthetically. I really enjoy them. Also, if you are looking for pets, especially unique ones, Sholazar Basin is a very good place to go. You can get a very nice tiger model cat if you are a hunter as a hunter pet, and that is Shango. I mean, I think you can get another one like him down in Stranglethorn, but don't quote me on that. He might be unique to Sholazar Basin. The other one you can get we'll take a look at later, and that is Pitch. He is one of my absolute favorites. Now this is the Maker's Perch. If you do some quests for the Avatar of Freya, you'll end up in the Maker's Perch, going back here, realigning a few matrices. And if you've never done the Avatar of Freya's quest chain, I really recommend it, especially because for the last little secret, I'm pretty sure you have to have done Freya's quests. You don't have to have completed all of Freya's quest chain, but you have to do up to the point where you unlock the keys in the Titan facilities. Unless, of course, Blizzard has changed that, which they could have because they change stuff all the time, and I'm not always up on it. We'll say hi to Shango again as we fly over him, heading towards a pretty little waterfall, and then going up onto this, what is this called again? The Stormright Shelf, yes. You do a lot of quests for both your Oracle buddies and your Frenzy Heart buddies here. One of them involves getting struck by lightning. I don't know if you have to be on top of this pillar to get struck by lightning, but I usually end up flying to the top of the pillar and just hoping. It's one of those kinda sorta bugged quests, but as you can see, lightning just struck the corner of the pillar, so if you stand there long enough, you'll eventually get hit. There's also a really cool little graveyard up here that I found that I would love to know the story of. It's probably just something that Blizzard put in for giggles. But there's this one skeleton that looks like it came crawling out of the grave, and I just saw it and I was like, what is his story? I don't know if anyone knows his story. So if you don't know his story, I guess you can just make it up. This lake up ahead is full of hydras that you end up having to get, you have to let them spit all over you. It is a fun little quest that you do for some of Hemet Nessingwary's friends, and you do a lot for him. Now up here is some more of our Oracle buddies. they're just hanging out. This is where, when you switch allegiances in the initial opening quests for the oracles and the frenzy heart, this is where you kind of sort of switch sides. This is also the home of Farnham. I think I'm saying his name right. And he is Hemet Nessingwary's second highest prize here in Sholazar Basin. And you have to do a big long quest chain to locate him, but he's just hanging out up here by the oracles. And the other thing that Nessingwary wants, after you complete all the stuff at his questing hub, he sends you over this way to go hunting with one of his friends, which culminates in you and him taking out the brood mother Sylvinia, who we will go see here in just a minute. This is also where, for the little gnome that's here, you get him his very own pet rock, and you get him a big old mammoth, which you then promptly use as your mount to go take out a giant dragon with Hemet Nessingwary. There's also, as always, a tribe full of frenzy heart right near wherever the oracles are. The oracles are interesting because they're Gorloks, which is like a super primitive Murloc, and I don't think we had seen them before we came to Northrend. Now there's the broodmother Sylvinia. You know, I always feel kind of bad doing the Hemet Nessingwary quests, but that never stops me from doing them, especially on a lot of my hunter characters who also happen to be leather workers. So Hemet Nessingwary quests are really good for getting a lot of leather, because you're going to be killing a lot of creatures. Now up here at the top of the Glimmering Pillar, we have got the Cult of the Damned. They are everywhere. They are especially everywhere in Wrath of the Lich King. So they're hanging out up here causing all sorts of problems. Over here is where you get some rock eggs. This is also a good location if you're looking to complete certain recipes in Northrend. This is a good location to get the northern eggs. Those rocks, not only are they brooding eggs which you steal to get the gnome back at the camp, his pet rock, but when you shoot them, it's a good source of getting northern eggs. Up ahead in the Lost Lands is the Avalanche. The Avalanche is where the Lifeblood Pillar has broken, and the Scourge is spilling into Sholazar Basin, which is one of the things that the Avatar of Freya is trying to combat. Because up until the Lifeblood Pillar broke, there were no Scourge, because the Lifeblood Pillar was the thing that was keeping the undead out. And as you can see, they are now trying to encroach upon Sholazar Basin. Never a good thing. And there is the Lady of the Hour, the Avatar of Freya. She's pretty cool. She's got her little glowy green energies left, right, and sideways. It's always a lot of fun to see her. And like I said, if you do her quest chain, at least up till you get all the keys from the Titan facilities, you do unlock a very interesting thing that I only learned about a couple years ago. So you might not know about it. Now we're going to go into the heart of the Sundered Shard so that we can go and see where you do the final battle, which will let you pick sides between the Frenzy Heart Tribe and the Oracles. And then anytime you want to switch, you have to come back and do the fight again. It's always kind of fun. Also, you really got to feel for the Oracles that are just getting dragged around. But the fight is at the back of the cave. It is against this big old lich up here. And that is Artrius the Heartless. And he's got an Oracle and a Frenzy Heart Leader, frozen in blocks of ice. You have to choose one of them to fight by your side. And that is the one that you give your allegiance to, at least until you change your mind again. Now, speaking of the oracles and the poor Gorloks that are getting drug around by the undead, we're going to go to the village that is, honestly, it's a little bit heartbreaking. You go there with your oracle helper. He's a very smart oracle helper. He speaks in full sentences, unlike a lot of the other Gorloks. He's a little condescending, but he's also a little bit torn up by what happened to this village. The undead raided it, and they are doing terrible things here. It's a really depressing quest, where some of them you try to save, and some of them you can save, and others die and just tell you to take their shinies and give them to the gods. It's always one of those quests that I'm like, this is a little messed up, Blizzard. But then again, it's Blizzard. They can do a little bit messed up things. I feel like they did them more back in the old world, but then every once in a while you remember something like Brennadam, and then you're like, oh no, they still do pretty messed up things. We're going to go up to the top of the lifeblood pillar, where we can see it is definitely broken. It kind of looks like the stump of Vordrassil, which is over, I think, in the Howling Fjord. And I'm pretty sure that I read a quote that Bronzebeard actually compared those two. Now over here, where I just stopped, was another spot where Loke likes to spawn if you're hunting him. Also, speaking of messed up quests, you do a quest for the Frenzy Heart Wolvar, where you just torment those little baby gorillas. I mean, you don't actually kill them, but you poke them with a stick and make them cry. It's kind of sad. I feel much more sanguine about killing off these wasps because, ew, wasps, even if they are a pretty purple color. Right up here is Frenzy Heart Hill. It is where the Frenzy Heart Tribe leaders and daily quests are located. You can come here, and I think there's either 3 or 4 quests that you can do every single day to up your reputation with them until you hit Exalted and can get all of the wonderful goodies that they offer. And then you switch your allegiances and go do the same thing with the oracles, because we love to play both sides, don't we? Up here is the Skyreach pillar. I do like the fact that the crystals on each of these pillars kind of match up with what they are. Like the Lifeblood pillar's crystals are red, Skyreach's are blue, Glimmering pillar is yellow. You know, color-coded for easy identification, I guess. Also, I don't know if this guy is tameable, but he is kind of a cool-looking worm thing, and he is the thing that you have to kill for the oracles. So if you're looking for him, he's right up there. As we venture into the heart of Sholazar Basin, we're going to stop over and check out Pitch. Pitch, I think, is completely unique in the game in that he is a tameable black lion. Now, you can get a white lion in the Barrens, if you have a friend who is doing the quest for it that you get from the crossroads. You can intercept and tame the white lion, but Pitch is a black lion, and just, he's very cool. Most of my hunters tame him because he's just kind of awesome. Now, once I figure out where I'm going here, we will stop at the Rain Speaker Canopy, which is where the oracles hang out. So after you're done with the Frenzy Heart tribe, you'll go over and do some stuff with the oracles before you're forced to choose which tribe you would like to hang out with permanently, or permanently until you change your mind. And they're up here. There is another spirit beast that is tameable. I think its name is Atona. It's a very, very pretty, giant parrot-looking spirit beast. And, well, actually, I don't think it's a spirit beast. I think it's just a rare. Still, very cool. Very pretty if you're looking for a unique hunter pet. So, just between you guys and me, I actually like the oracles better than the Frenzy Heart, but the Frenzy Heart quests I feel like are a little bit more fun. Now over here is the area most people know, and that is the main and only flight point into Sholazar Basin until you unlock the one over at Nessingwari Camp. It's also where I am standing right now is where Bushwhacker appears. Bushwhacker is a giant alligator. I mean, I know that they're called crocolisks, but he is the thing that you have to hunt for the Draenei who is hanging out at Nessingwari's camp. Now, one last thing, I did promise a secret, and that secret is connected to the Waygates. If you do the quests for the Avatar of Freya, you'll unlock a Titan facility, and once you get all the Titan facilities unlocked, Freya needs you to go through to another Titan facility that you may remember from the old world. And she gives you the ability to pass through the Waygate. And I never realized that the Waygate was actually connected to the Waygate that is in Ungoro Crater. And once you quest for Freya, that Waygate is then open permanently for you. So it's a really fast way to get from Northrend back to Kalimdor. I can never say that word. But there we are. We're in Ungoro Crater now. Kinda awesome. And I like having as many portals as I can because I very rarely play a mage. So there we go. From Ungoro, let's head back to Sholazar so that we can say goodbye, basically. So next week, we're going to be going to Icecrown, because that is the next place on our tour of Northrend. We're going to check out Ice Crown. There's a lot to it. I'll probably miss a bunch, but it is what it is. Anyway, from me and Beryl, thank you for watching. Say goodbye, Beryl.